Fairy Doors by Shuck. Briefly, I rented a small cottage in a patch of ancient woodland, cheaply, as the home was very remote. But though I never met my strange neighbors, I wasn't entirely alone. My marriage had collapsed. I spent my savings on this temporary getaway to hopefully gain a fresh perspective on the world, which I achieved, though not in a way I'd have ever expected. You may remember news reports from a few years ago about forests in England being inundated with fairy doors nailed to the bases of tree trunks. Soon, trees with these doors outnumbered those without, and fines were imposed until the craze faded. To my surprise, I found 2 such doors, one green and one gold, skillfully attached to opposing tall, gnarled sycamores, not 50 yards from my cottage. Each had a well-worn brass doorknob and rusted iron hinge. Absent-mindedly, I gave the gold door a sturdy knock, then went on my way. Later that day, after a tearful stroll to a tall waterfall, over which I'd pictured my body fall, I returned to find a small yellow note pinned with a thorn onto the 6-inch green door. The writing was tiny, but impeccable.
"Did you knock upon my door?"
More amused than afraid, though I suddenly felt very alone in my home. I scrawled a reply on a scrap of paper and slid beneath the opposite fairy door. "Yes, and you didn't answer. How unneighborly." My mind turned to more melancholy things that night, but hungover in the harsh morning, I stumbled through the woods towards the waterfall and found a new notice nailed against the green door.
"Mind your own business."
This distraction intrigued me, and I decided to stay around for another day to discover who was playing such strange games. I picked foxgloves in the forest and located branches which would sustain my weight, biding my time in case I'd find a reply on the old gold door, and I wasn't disappointed.
"Nosy neighbors tend to end up dead."
Hurt by such harshness, I wrote a reply and nailed it high on the tree for the prankster to see. A joke's a joke, but I live here alone and could have misinterpreted these notes as threats against myself. I then went home and drank myself to sleep, complete with troubling dreams of small scampering feet. The next morning, I took my breakfast from my half-empty scotch bottle until my body rejected this nectar. To clear my head, I left for a last walk within the woods. Puzzlingly, both doors were gone, along with my note. I returned home more unwell than ever before, but determined to never again sink so low. Pinned to my door was another note in the same small script.
"You didn't misinterpret the message, neighbor. Since you're so alone, you're welcome some company. We'll double tonight's dose of foxglove mixed with your whiskey."
Retching violently, I noticed 2 teeny, low doors, one green, one gold, wedged within my cottage wall.